Welcome, everyone. We have the Spin Master Superman movie 12-inch Superman. Now, I don't normally look at these kind of simple 12-inch figures, but after reviewing the 6-inch figure, I went online to see if the other figures in the 6-inch wave were available, and I saw this and I saw some curiosities. So I went ahead and got it. We're going to review it and we're going to kind of go over some interesting things with what's going on with the sculpt. So the packaging will look familiar if you saw the other video. They've got a very distinct uh, marketing style, with the orangey yellow, the red Superman. And then they keep showing, these action comics also on the packaging. Back of the figure is a photograph of the real person, not the toy. And just in case you need to see the UPC, there you go. And there is a ton of legal stuff on the bottom. Whole paragraph. Okay, so let's open this guy. Here he is out of the package, and this is, an equivalent of what, people like to call the shampoo bottle figures. I'll say the plastic is probably a little bit better than the stuff that came out years ago, but it's still like hollow. You can tell like the plastic is hollow. And kind of surprised at how much articulation this guy has. Like, I wasn't too sure looking at the pictures online, but now that he is here, like, definitely some decent articulation. By no means is this going to be like a premier collectible action figure, but in a lot of ways, I think this is pretty passable, considering it's probably going to be a while before we get anything else in a 12-inch. And yeah, there'll be Hot Toys, and yeah, it'll be 3, 4, 5, $600. It'll be real expensive, and it'll be worth it. But this thing is $11. You can buy this off of Amazon right now. Um, so before even really getting into the figure itself, I wanted to bring this guy up because it kind of seems, and I mean, this makes sense too, that there may be some kind of base 3D model that all these figures are made from, because the articulation scheme is almost identical. Although now seeing this in real life, it is a little different. But that would also be expected because you're not going to have the same exact joint proportions. So like where the cut lines are and where the joints are the same on both of these. Only thing is this guy does not have a waist swivel, but he does have this whole thing going on with the legs. He does have knee articulation. He does have the elbow disc hinge swivel. The hands do turn on this guy, so that's kind of cool. And this whole like C-clamp thing with the fists are kind of the same with the figures. Um, it does seem like, let me adjust the camera a little bit. It does seem like the head may not be the same proportions. Just gonna do this to try to, actually they might be. And you can tell a little bit better that this is a ball joint, but the sculpting is so like the seam between the neck hole and the neck is so close that you can't really get him to do anything other than a swivel. Um, the way they did the cape is just a little bit different. Um, it's hard to describe some words, but you can see you've got this kind of uniflap here where the cape sits under, and on here kind of have the same thing going on, but they glue the cape. They just cut this piece and have it on top instead of underneath this. Just slightly different. So thought it was kind of interesting. All right, and just to kind of go over the articulation a little bit more, you got these disc hinge shoulders, the wrists do bend, um, some okay leg articulation. The sad thing is this guy is not really going to do an adequate flying pose. He's Superman. He should he should be able to do a flying pose. Like they should have gave him like how much more would it have cost to put like some kind of cut line in the ankles? But he definitely needs a way to raise his head forward, and he's just never going to be able to. So that's unfortunate. But for the price, this is a pretty nice figure. I mean, really, for the price, it's kind of an amazing figure. And then to compare this to something a little bit more like apples to apples, here is a Hasbro $11 figure, and the articulation is less. So no elbow, no wrist, no knee. He does have outer movement in the legs. Um, his forearms do turn, so there is some articulation there. Definitely swivel head. So, a little bit more comparable, but more going on with this figure. And then compared to a little bit more sophisticated action figure, it's a shame that Hasbro isn't making these anymore. These were some nice figures. Some of them were kind of weird. Some of them were better than others. Um, the Cap was definitely one of the better figures. This is more like a Marvel Legends figure though, in 12-inch form. It would be nice if somebody did something like that for Superman. $50 for a very well articulated version of this, maybe with better face sculpt. I think that'd be pretty cool. But as he stands, he's not bad. Um, Looking at the face, though, it's kind of like it's distorted a little bit. Maybe this is how this guy's face is for real in real life, but you know, nobody has like perfect symmetrical face. On camera, this looks good. In person, it still looks good. Yeah, the actual paint apps on this actually is really good. But compared to this guy, there's a little bit of difference. I think mostly the skin is a little bit paler, but there is something about this sculpt where like the face kind of skews to the left a little bit. And again, it might be how this guy's face is in real life. I don't know. um and then the paint's okay. Like the Superman symbol, the S symbol looks great. The belt has got a little bit of over under spray. Looks a little, just a teeny bit sloppy. The rest of the areas look okay. They're passable. But I would say overall, this is a good figure, especially for $10, $11. This is a great figure for $11. This is half the price of a Marvel Legends figure and has almost all of the posability. So if you want a 12-inch movie Superman, this is the only one you can get right now. This is pretty decent. I say pick it up. You know, $11, you can't go too wrong with it. He will display well with other similar 12-inch figures. And this could definitely be, you know, a kind of single display piece. You know, maybe display him with some of the other uh, Spin Master movie figures. But we'll also be getting McFarlane toward the end of the month, I believe. This month or next month, I can't remember. So we're about to be hit with a wave of Superman product. And we just had the new trailer come out. So movie's right around the corner. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments. Is anybody interested in picking this guy up? Do you think this is like too simplified? Do you think this is actually decent? And if you haven't done so, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate it.